Namaste children. Today in biology, chapter number 6, life processes. Respiration. What is respiration? It is not possible for any of us to hold our breath for long while keeping our nostrils and mouth closed. For every moment of our life, we require oxygen. Oxygen is necessary in our body to prevent any accumulation of carbon dioxide in the body. This is possible through the process of respiration. We shall now learn how and why the exchange of gases occurs in our body and why is it significant. What is the difference between breathing and respiration? The mechanism by which organisms obtain oxygen from the environment and release carbon dioxide in return is called breathing. However, respiration is a much more complex process. It includes breathing, which involves the mechanism of exchange of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide, and oxidation of digested food occurring in cells in order to release energy. The energy released during the process of respiration is utilized for carrying out biological functions, which is essential for survival and maintenance of an organism. The main product obtained from the process of respiration is the release of energy. This energy is released from oxidation of simple food molecules such as glucose. Respiration is a biochemical process which takes place in the mitochondria. It occurs in different steps and involves the action of several enzymes. The energy released in the process of respiration is chemical energy. This chemical energy gets stored as ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate molecules. Respiration, as we already mentioned, it involves oxidation of food which may occur in presence as well as absence of oxygen. Based upon this, respiration is of two types: aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. Majority of organisms use oxygen for respiration, and this oxygen regulated respiration is called aerobic respiration. During this, food, that is glucose, is completely broken down into carbon dioxide and water by the process of oxidation. This results in the production of ATP. That is, glucose converted into pyruvate in the cytoplasm, and then this pyruvate converted into carbon dioxide, water with the release of energy. Anaerobic respiration. A few organisms such as certain bacteria and yeast release energy from food in the absence of oxygen. This process is known as anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration also takes place in our muscles during vigorous exercise or muscular work. In such a situation, oxygen gets used up faster than is available to muscle cells. During this process, ethanol is formed as end product in some plants and lactic acid in muscles of animals. In certain bacteria and yeast, energy is released in the absence of oxygen. Ethyl glycol is produced and carbon dioxide is released. The anaerobic respiration occurring in yeast cells is called fermentation. Enzyme zymase carries out the process of fermentation in these organisms. In muscle cells of animals, during vigorous muscular activities, more oxygen is used up than is available for the oxidative breakdown of respiratory substrates. Thus, glucose breaks down to produce lactic acid along with the release of energy. That is, glucose is converted into pyruvic acid. This pyruvic acid is converted into ethanol with the release of water and energy. Respiration in land and water organisms. Various organisms have developed different methods of gaseous exchange with their surroundings. The terrestrial organisms have organs which help to obtain oxygen from air. Aquatic organisms take in oxygen dissolved in water. The main respiratory organs of land animals such as frog, lizard, bird and human are the lungs. In earthworm, skin helps to obtain oxygen from air. Breathing is specific to the higher animals. Frogs breathe by their skin as well as lungs. Their blood picks up oxygen and carries it to various tissues of the body. Blood also picks up carbon dioxide from tissues and brings it back to the skin or lungs for removal from the body into the surrounding atmosphere. In insects such as grasshopper, housefly or cockroach, air tubes or trachea serves as respiratory organs. The tracheal system is such that trachea reaches every part of the body. Openings called spiracles are located on the lateral side of the body of the insect and open into the tracheal system. Carbon dioxide moves out of the body of the organism through these spiracles only. Aquatic animals such as fish take in water through their mouth and push it out from their gills. The dissolved oxygen from water is taken up by the blood and carbon dioxide is released out. Gill surface is lined with blood capillaries to make exchange of gases easy and fast. The human respiratory system. The human respiratory system consists of external nostrils, nasal cavity, internal nostrils, pharynx, larynx and trachea. Lungs are the main respiratory organs in the body. There is a pair of two lungs in the body, which provide the surface of gaseous exchange in the body. The human respiratory system begins from external nostrils through which air is drawn into nasal cavities. The nasal cavity is separated from oral cavity by a bony palate. So, we can breathe in air even while we eat. In the nasal cavity, air is warm and moistened. The dust particles are entrapped in the mucus. Nasal cavities end in internal nostrils through which air enters pharynx. The nasal chambers are continued to open in the pharynx, which is a short tube. It is located at the backside of the buccal cavity. The main function of pharynx is to provide a passage into trachea through a slit-like aperture called the glottis. While swallowing food, glottis gets covered by a flap-like structure called the epiglottis at the anterior margin. The windpipe called trachea is a thin-walled, long tube which runs down the neck into the thoracic cavity. There, it divides into bronchi. Each bronchus continues into each of the lungs. When we breathe in, air from outside rushes into the alveoli of the lungs. This is called inhalation and occurs when the thoracic cavity expands. Thoracic cavity expands when the diaphragm and muscles attached to ribs contract. This makes the thorax move upwards and outwards, thereby increasing the volume inside thoracic cavity. Thus, air pressure decreases inside and air from outside rushes into lungs through nostrils, trachea and bronchi. The alveolar sacs get filled with oxygen-rich air. The alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries. Through the thin walls of alveoli and blood capillaries, exchange of gases takes place. From the alveoli, oxygen diffuses into blood and is supplied to the tissues. Carbon dioxide is absorbed by blood from the tissues and is carried to the alveoli of lungs for exhalation. Carbon dioxide is subsequently pushed out of lungs through trachea and nostrils. This happens when thoracic cavity comes back to its original size as diaphragm and rib muscles relax. Breathing out carbon dioxide is called exhalation. Thus, breathing has two events, inhalation and exhalation. Breathing occurs involuntarily, but its rate is controlled by the respiratory center of brain. Under normal conditions, the rate of breathing is 15 to 18 times per minute. During vigorous exercise, the demand for oxygen increases the rate by about 20 to 25 times.